The USS Constellation, NCC 1017, would quickly become a hero starship, capturing the hearts and minds of Federation citizens and alike throughout the Alpha and Beta quadrants, thanks to its famous captain, Commodore Matthew Decker. But what's the history behind this famous Constitution-class starship? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic, using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the history of the USS Constellation, introduced to fandom in Star Trek the original series in the episode The Doomsday Machine, to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, in honor of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I've made the executive decision to have the Constellation represented by the new updated Constitution-class model. It's an excellent homage to the original, and the model with the updated textures I created is really extraordinary. Also, I don't know about you, but the TOS episode The Doomsday Machine has always been one of my favorites. There's something very special and magical about that episode that has always sparked my imagination, especially when it came to Matthew Decker himself. Unlike various other TOS captains and officers and administrative heads, Matthew Decker was always someone who wasn't really corrupt, but rather felt that he had made a mistake and needed to redeem himself. And that's true hero stuff right there, sacrificing himself for the good of the many. And so creating this video was a lot of interesting fun for me. But as always, because this is just a beta canon video, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust, and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. The USS Constellation NCC 1017 was one of the original batch of Constitution-class starships to be constructed by Starfleet after the USS Constitution and the USS Enterprise were launched in 2245. Like all Constitution-class starships, after her original shakedown cruise, she would be sent on exploratory missions of 5-year increments. By the early 2250s, the USS Constellation was under the command of Captain Matthew Decker, formerly of the USS Yorktown. Due to numerous heroic actions, Decker would become a well-known, highly respected captain in Starfleet. In late 2246, during her shakedown cruise, the USS Constellation was near to the Tarsus star system when they received a distress call from the colony explaining how an exotic fungus had destroyed most of the colony's food supply, leaving the colonists in serious danger of starvation. Due to the classified nature of a starship's shakedown cruise, Governor Kodos of Tarsus IV was unaware of the Constellation's position, and made the drastic decision to kill more than 4,000 of the planet's colonists in order to allow the other 4,000 to survive. The Constellation was the first Federation starship to arrive at Tarsus IV, and quickly re-established order, searching for Kodos, but only finding a burned body that they believed to be that of the Governor. By the mid-2250s, Captain Matthew Decker would be promoted to the rank of Commodore, but refused a desk job, preferring to remain the captain of the USS Constellation, and was able to convince Starfleet Command that his remaining in command of the starship was far more beneficial to the United Federation of Planets. By 2263, the Constellation had received a major refit to its systems, and discovered a mold on the planet Ravenar 4, with an unusually large DNA sequence dubbed the metagenome. This discovery led to the fast-tracking by Starfleet of the construction of Starbase Vanguard. In early 2266, the Constellation helped to establish a mining outpost on the planet Beta Argola. During this mission, one of the miners suffered a psychotic episode and nearly killed 2 of the Constellation's senior officers. Later that year, the Constellation, along with the USS Enterprise, responded to a distress call from Alpha Proxima II, where an unidentified plague had incapacitated the planetary government. Working together, the two starships imposed martial law on the planet until an alien artifact causing the plague was seized and destroyed. In early 2267, the USS Constellation received an experimental upgrade of its defensive and tactical systems, as Starfleet believed another war with the Klingon Empire was imminent. Though a brief war would occur, this war would ultimately be stopped by the Organians before it really got started, and would lead the Klingon Empire into a peace treaty known as the Organian Peace Treaty. Shortly thereafter, the USS Constellation would be destroyed, protecting the United Federation of Planets from a doomsday machine planet killer. While investigating a planetary breakup and intense subspace interference in System L-374, the USS Constellation would be wrecked by the planet killer. With life support systems failing, Commodore Decker would order the ship's crew beam down to Planet 3 of the system. Unfortunately, that planet too would be destroyed by the planet killer to fuel its systems, but not before hitting the Constellation one last time, knocking out the Starship's transporters. As a result, Commodore Decker was forced to listen to the helpless pleas of his crew dying on the planet's surface. The USS Enterprise, under the command of Captain James T. Kirk, would respond to the garbled distress call of the USS Constellation, and after a last-ditch effort by Commodore Decker to destroy the planet killer using a Federation shuttlecraft, Captain James T. Kirk would build on the Commodore's idea and use the Constellation itself to destroy the planet killer. Though a sad end to a brilliant Starship commander, his heroic actions would lead directly to the destruction of the weapon, saving countless worlds from being destroyed. As a result, Starfleet would honor the Commodore's actions by creating the Commodore Matthew Decker Medal of Honor, to be bestowed on those Starship commanders that displayed an unprecedented level of command heroism when faced with impossible situations. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the history of the USS Constellation and of Commodore Matthew Decker himself? Do you think he was a hero, or do you believe that he should have never been given a Starship command in the first place? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel come up with a better way to stop planet killers in the future? Then consider becoming a channel patron, a major help which allows this channel to buy resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to our Patreon account is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Live long and prosper.